Diana Ross sat in her manager's office in 1972, reading a script that would eventually win an Academy Award nomination. The role was powerful, challenging, exactly the kind of part that could redefine what black actresses could do. And Diana said no. Some of y'all remember Diana as Billie Holiday in Lady Sings the Blues. Saw that performance in theaters, watched Diana transform into one of music's most tortured geniuses. Diana earned an Oscar nomination, changed her career forever, proved she was more than a singer. But before Lady Sings the Blues, Diana was offered another role, a different part that would have taken her career in a completely different direction. And Diana turned it down, not because she couldn't do it. Diana turned it down because she understood something about her career that most people didn't see. The role Diana rejected went to another actress. That actress won an Oscar nomination, became a legend, built a film career that spanned decades, and Diana could have had it, chose not to. That choice reveals everything about how Diana understood her own power. Black actresses didn't get many opportunities in Hollywood in 1972. The roles were limited, often demeaning, rarely complex. When a real part came along, black actresses competed fiercely because chances like that didn't come twice. Diana had the offer, had the opportunity, and walked away. Diana had just left the Supremes in 1970, had gone solo. Berry Gordy was managing her image, controlling every aspect of her transition to solo superstar. And Berry had specific ideas about Diana's film career, ideas that didn't align with what Hollywood was offering. The role required Diana to play someone struggling, suffering, broken by circumstances. The character was real, human, flawed in ways that made her sympathetic. The actress who eventually played her delivered a performance so powerful it made audiences cry, made critics rave, made Hollywood take notice. But Diana looked at that script and saw something else, saw a character defined by pain and victimhood, saw a story that centered black suffering in ways that felt familiar, expected, safe for white audiences, saw a role that would win awards but wouldn't build the kind of career Diana wanted. Berry wanted Diana to be glamorous, wanted her to represent aspiration and beauty, wanted her to play characters that made black audiences proud, not characters that made white audiences comfortable with black pain. And Diana agreed. So Diana said no to the role that won an Oscar nomination, said no to the safe choice, said no to what Hollywood expected. And instead, Diana waited for something riskier, something that would let her be Diana Ross on screen instead of disappearing into someone else's story. That decision terrified everyone around her. Her agents thought she was making a mistake. Industry people said she'd never get another chance. And Diana, who was 28 and betting everything on her instincts, decided to trust herself. The role Diana eventually chose was Billie Holiday, another story of black suffering, another tragic figure. But Billie Holiday was also an icon, a woman who lived on her own terms, a star whose music changed American culture. And Diana saw the difference, saw that playing Billie meant inhabiting power, even in decline. But what was the role Diana turned down? What film changed black cinema while Diana bet everything on Billie Holiday? The role Diana Ross turned down was Claudine in the 1974 film Claudine. Diahann Carroll eventually played her, earned an Oscar nomination, and delivered one of the most honest portrayals of black working-class motherhood ever put on screen. Claudine was about a single black mother in Harlem trying to raise 6 children while working as a maid, navigating welfare regulations designed to keep her poor. The story was real, intimate, unglamorous. Claudine struggled. Claudine survived. Claudine loved a garbage collector, played by James Earl Jones, and their relationship was tender, honest in ways Hollywood rarely showed black people. For black audiences in 1974, Claudine was revelatory. Finally, a film that showed their lives with dignity. Finally, characters who felt like family instead of stereotypes. Diana could have had that role, could have earned that Oscar nomination, and Diana said no. Diana grew up poor, Brewster projects, single mother, food insecurity. All the struggles Claudine depicted, Diana had lived. Diana knew poverty intimately, knew what it felt like to worry about money, to watch her mother work herself to exhaustion. Diana didn't need to play Claudine to understand Claudine. Diana had been Claudine. But Diana had escaped, had used her talent and determination to build a life completely different from where she started. And Diana didn't want her film debut to take her back to the life she'd fought so hard to leave. Berry Gordy supported that decision, believed Diana's first film should show her as aspirational, not realistic, should make Black audiences dream instead of remember. Lady Sings the Blues was risky in different ways. Billie Holiday's estate opposed Diana playing her. Critics assumed a pop singer couldn't handle serious acting. Hollywood doubted a Motown production could create real cinema. Everything was a gamble. But Diana chose that gamble over Claudine's safer path. And it succeeded, made $9 million. Diana earned an Oscar nomination. Diana proved she could act, carry a film, be taken seriously. And she did it playing an icon instead of an everywoman. But what if Diana had chosen Claudine? Diahann Carroll's career shows one possible path. Carroll earned respect, continued working, became known as a serious actress, but she never became a movie star, never had the film career that matched her television success. Claudine was her triumph and also her ceiling. Diana's career took her to Mahogany, The Wiz, and eventually back to music. Diana became known as the glamorous diva who could act, not the serious actress who could also sing. And Diana seemed satisfied with that identity. Some film historians argue Claudine was more important to Black cinema than Lady Sings the Blues, argue that showing ordinary Black life with dignity mattered more than showing another tragic icon. And maybe they're right. Maybe Claudine did more for Black audiences. But Diana wasn't trying to do what was most important for Black cinema. Diana was trying to build the career Diana wanted. And Diana wanted to be legendary, not relatable. That choice cost her Claudine, but it gave her everything else she became. Diana Ross understood something in 1972 that took Hollywood decades to learn. Black actresses didn't have to choose between dignity and glamour, didn't have to play suffering to be taken seriously. Diana believed she could be beautiful, powerful, and respected simultaneously, and she was willing to bet her film career on that belief. The pressure on Diana to take Claudine was intense. Her agents pushed hard. Industry people told her she'd never get another chance. Black critics suggested she owed it to the community to play a character that reflected real Black women's lives. And Diana listened to all of it and still said no. Some of y'all remember when Black entertainers were expected to represent the race, expected to make choices based on what was good for Black people collectively, instead of what was good for them individually. Diana rejected that burden, rejected the idea that her career decisions had to serve anyone's agenda but her own. That rejection made people angry, made people call Diana selfish, vain, disconnected from her roots. But Diana never forgot where she came from. Diana just refused to let where she came from determine where she was going. Berry Gordy's influence can't be ignored. Berry wanted Diana to be Motown's movie star, wanted her to represent the Motown aesthetic, polished, sophisticated, aspirational. Berry saw Diana as his masterpiece, and Berry's vision for Diana didn't include playing maids or welfare mothers, even dignified ones. Critics accused Berry of controlling Diana, and Berry certainly had influence, but Diana wasn't a puppet. Diana had her own ambitions, and Diana's ambitions aligned with Berry's vision because Diana wanted the same thing, to be legendary. Lady Sings the Blues let Diana play tragedy without playing poverty. Let her be broken but beautiful. Let her suffer in designer gowns with perfect lighting. Diana could inhabit that tragedy while still being glamorous. And audiences responded. Black audiences showed up, felt pride seeing her command the screen. White audiences came too, drawn by Diana's beauty and the film's production value. The film crossed over in ways Claudine never could. Some actresses from that era, Cicely Tyson, Diahann Carroll, and Ruby Dee, built reputations on playing dignified, realistic black women, earned respect, won awards, made important films, and never became household names outside black communities. Never had the crossover success Diana achieved. Diana chose a different path, chose glamour and aspiration, chose to be the star people dreamed of becoming instead of the character people already were. And that choice made her Diana Ross, legend, icon, diva. Made her someone whose name everyone knows, made her career last 50+ years. Was it the right choice? These questions don't have simple answers. Diana made the choice that served Diana, built the career Diana wanted, became the legend Diana envisioned. What's clear is that Diana knew herself, knew what she wanted, knew what she was willing to sacrifice. And Diana trusted that knowledge, even when everyone said she was making a mistake. That's power. Diana Ross is 80 now, still performing, still glamorous, still commanding stages, still being Diana Ross. And the choice she made in 1972 to turn down Claudine looks different now than it did then. Claudine was important, mattered to black cinema, gave black audiences a story that honored their lives. Diahann Carroll deserved all the praise she received. Carroll made a different choice than Diana, chose authenticity, chose to play a character who looked like the women in the audience, and that choice had value. But Diana's choice had value too. Diana proved black actresses could be glamorous leading ladies, could carry films as stars, not just as serious character actresses, could cross over without playing maids or suffering mothers. Diana opened a different door, and other actresses walked through it. The debate between representation and aspiration continues today. Some believe black artists should prioritize realistic portrayals, should show black life with honesty. Others believe black artists should be free to create fantasy, glamour, escape, should make art that lets black audiences dream. Diana firmly planted herself in the second camp, chose to be the dream, chose to show black girls they could be fabulous, powerful, legendary, chose to prove black women didn't have to be relatable to be respected, and that choice influenced generations who came after. Some of y'all remember seeing Diana as Billie Holiday for the first time, seeing a black woman command a film with beauty and power, seeing Hollywood treat a black actress like a star instead of a supporting player. That representation mattered too, differently, and that difference had value. The road Diana turned down changed black cinema. Claudine showed black working-class life with dignity, influenced future films, proved audiences wanted realistic black stories. But Diana's choice to play Billie Holiday changed black cinema too, showed that biographical films about black icons could be commercially successful, paved the way for films about Tina Turner, Ray Charles, James Brown, proved black legend stories deserved big-budget Hollywood treatment. Diana's success opened doors just like Claudine did. Different doors, but important ones. Diana Ross made the choice that fit who she was, made the choice that built the career she wanted, made the choice that let her be legendary instead of relatable. And 50 years later, Diana's still here. That longevity suggests her instincts were right. Some people will always believe Diana should have chosen Claudine, should have prioritized authenticity over glamour. Those people aren't wrong. Claudine mattered. But Diana chose herself, chose her vision, chose to be the star she wanted to be. And that choice showed other black women they could choose themselves too, could prioritize their own dreams, could be glamorous and respected, could could trust their own instincts even when everyone else said they were wrong. That's Diana's legacy. Not just the film she made, but the choice she made to define herself on her own terms, to refuse to be limited by what others thought black actresses should do. If you understand that sometimes the roles we turn down define us as much as the roles we take, if you believe Diana Ross earned the right to choose herself, drop your thoughts below.